Hello, here we are around the planet for the month of November. I'm super excited to interview with Laura Wenholz from our office. She's our controller, and I have a great opportunity to know Laura because I get to meet with you on a weekly basis and have a chance to visit a lot with you, and I enjoy our conversations.
I enjoy it too.
And what will be great is that now everyone else can get to know Laura like the way I know you. So Laura, why don't you start about, tell us what you do, how long you've been here.
As you said, I'm the controller, and I oversee the financial operations. I take care of the accounting team in the business office. I started here September 16th, 2021. My majority of what I'm doing is setting up accounts every day, making sure everything's hitting the right accounts, whether it's sales, cost of sales, making sure as tickets are closed out in your service department, your parts department, everything's going to the right spots on the financial statements. We produce in the business office 3 financial statements, you know, the Honda, the Hyundai, and the Genesis. When I first started, it was Honda, and then the Genesis was on the Hyundai, but pretty quickly they wanted them split.
Right.
So we've done that. My day-to-day operations are reconciling bank statements, writing checks back, going through and making sure all of the accounts are sitting correctly.
Right. It's a big job.
Yeah.
It's a huge job.
As long as everything flows right, it really works well. I have people all the time say, doesn't that stress you out?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Well, you're very good at it. I think you have
Thank
a
you.
confidence that you bring. That's why it doesn't stress you out, because you know you're doing a good job and you're actually finding mistakes from the past issues that we've had in the office, and you're fixing those, and you've really cleaned up, and I really appreciate you doing that.
I have a great staff, I have to say. I mean, everybody in that office is so much fun to work with. They all enjoy their jobs. They have the common goal where we joke around and we say we work hard, but we play hard too.
Yeah,
So we know when we can play and we know when we can't.
Exactly.
So we do. Yesterday morning, I happened to walk into 80 million what looked like Legos all over my office.
Oh my
everywhere.
gosh.
Come to find out, your Honda service technicians have been keeping every time that they remove a recall part that they're required to remove. They've been putting it in a bag so that they can bring it up and spread it in my office.
Now, do you have a picture of this?
I'm not sure if we do. I'll have to ask, because I think Danielle took a picture yesterday
We'll have
morning.
to add it into this, because really, you guys have so many funny pranks that I hear about. I mean, Lee walked into one that didn't go, they were like, stop. It was the glitter one, or...
Yes. So they had decorated my door. I was gone for my birthday, and when I came back, they had decorated the whole door. You couldn't see.
Right.
So when you opened it, I was going to have glitter just fall all over me. That was the office staff. And I guess Lee was getting ready to walk in, and somebody goes, stop.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I haven't taught you guys very well. I said, you should have let him walk right on in there.
One. Oh, my gosh. But you guys do have a lot of fun and a lot of glitter.
Yeah, we're done with the glitter.
Are we done with the glitter?
Yes.
It's so hard to clean up.
Yeah. So we have moved to, my office staff and myself, we tinfoiled all of Connor's office, including his name tag, floor to ceiling.
Oh, my gosh.
It didn't take that long. We did it in quick. 2 people going down, and we wrapped the entire office.
Just show us some more pictures.
We had customers come in and go, can we take pictures of this? This is awesome. Oh, yeah, they were laughing so hard.
I love it.
Nobody gets to not be part of our shenanigans.
Yeah.
We all went into Jamie's office one day and sprayed him with silly string, and I turned, and you had customers standing there, and I was horrified. And the lady started laughing, and she goes, please tell me you guys do this every day.
Yeah, it is fun. It breaks, well, you're here so long, and it is a stressful job, even though you guys do a great job. It's nice to have that release, just to be able to go do something fun, do a little prank here and there. And that's what's built you. You have a great team, fabulous team.
They are amazing. They make me look really good.
Well,
I couldn't live without them.
It's a great office. It really is. So that's what that's, in case people didn't know what a controller does, that's what you do. It is a huge job. And like I said, you do it very efficiently, so thank you for that.
I appreciate that.
How did you decide to come and work for Planet Automotive?
That is actually a really funny story.
Okay.
So years ago, I had gotten a call from somebody that I really had enjoyed working with in the past. He places people in different dealerships.
Right.
And he gave me a call and he said, are you interested in leaving? Would you be interested in leaving where you're at? And I said, for the right opportunity, I would contemplate it.
Right.
So he goes, great. He goes, I have a dealer in Lakewood. And he goes, let me get back to you.
Okay.
Calls me back and he goes, where do you live? And I said, oh, I live out by Cherry Creek State Park. I'm at Parker and Orchard. And he goes, okay, great. I'll call you back. calls me back and he said, well, the dealer doesn't want to talk to you because you live too far. And I go,
remember.
that's fine, no problem. So years go by, and I have now, I'm at a store that I've been at for only 10 months.
Okay.
And I get a call and from the same guy, and he says, would you be interested? He goes, do you know who Lee Payne is? And I said, I do. And I said, he's very well respected. I said, he runs the Planet Group, right? And he goes, yes. He goes, he's in search of a controller. Would you be interested in having lunch with him? I said, absolutely. So I walk in, Lee introduces himself, and he said, first of all, I owe you an apology. And I go, for what? And he goes, for not meeting with you those years back. And I didn't let on. I didn't tell him. I said, no problem at all.
Yeah.
Now, after I had interviewed with you and everybody, I used to come in and quip at him a little bit. I go, I would have made the drive back then.
Exactly.
So we would joke about it, and it just kind of became a fun little joke between the two of us. So it was just interesting that I'd always known who he was, and I'd always had a respect for him. And then to find out that he was the dealer in Lakewood was funny.
Yeah.
So sometimes things are meant to be.
I know. And he's always nervous, and I can appreciate, I remember that vividly. He's like, there's this great candidate. But I just know what's going to happen is she'll start, and then she'll be driving for an hour, and the snow's going to hit, and it will be a problem. He goes, and it will be a no-win for both of us. And as it turned out, that's not. That you've shared with me how your drive home is
it's my downtime.
It's your downtime.
It is. It's my time to kind of just go over some things that I need to do the next day or whatever it is. So I actually enjoy my drive.
Yeah.
As crazy as that sounds, it does not bother me.
I love it.
There's time. Usually I talk to my husband on the way home, and we just discuss, things that are happening. And by the time I get home, I'm like, hello. So it's just nice.
Well, and I shared that with Lee, how I love that you said, too, is when you walk in the door, it's like fun, happy things because you've already kind of processed and worked through the to-do list that everybody has.
Right.
Whether it's a home or business or marriage, whatever, there's always a to-do list. So it's kind of nice to get that out of the way on your drive, and then you go home and
it's a happy versus walking in going, oh.
But I don't tell you about my day.
Which is, it's for me, I enjoy it. So it worked out.
I love it. Well, we appreciate the drive. We appreciate you doing it.
Thank you.
Because you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
So, Laura, if somebody wanted in the company that's already here, if they think, maybe I'm interested in the office, I'm tired of XYZ, what would you recommend, and what personality or skills would you want to have for the office, for different positions?
That's a great question, because we do, on rare occasions, we'll have an opening. As we're growing, we're also always looking to start bringing somebody in and incorporating. For me personally, because I didn't start out with this degree in accounting to start with. I started out where I learned each desk. So
I should have asked you that. When did you start, and how did you start?
I started in 1993.
Okay.
At a dealership. Can I say the name of the dealership?
Sure.
I started out at Emmett Chrysler back in 1993.
Okay.
I was in nursing school because I was actually a hospice aide at the time. And there was an ad in the paper back in the day, and it was for a fleet and rental assistant. And I decided, hey, it makes more money than what I'm making, and it will help me with nursing school.
For sure.
I'm a young mom. I'm a newly married. And I thought this would be a great start. And so I went in, and I said, do I have to know anything about cars? And he said, no, not at all. And I said, great. So I was a fleet and rental assistant.
All right.
About 6 months later, the general manager called me in and said, well, we're going to get rid of the fleet and rental department because we're bringing in this really cool new thing called second chance financing. And I went, oh, so I'm out of a job. And he goes, no, not at all. He goes, we're going to go ahead and move you up to the business office, and we're going to teach you how to do billing of car deals.
Okay,
and I said, oh. And this is back in the day where you would have to hand add up flag sheets. So they were like, we're going to teach you a little bit of payroll. We're going to teach you. And I went, oh, I don't think I can do this. I failed accounting in high school. And they're like, it's fine, it's fine. Well, I was there for a little over a year after that when I got a call from, and I can't remember her name, but it was she was the controller over at Goodman Buick. And kept pushing, come to lunch, come to lunch, come to lunch. So I finally went to lunch with her, and she was amazing with training when I accepted the job.
Wow.
Because before I was just taught the steps, where she taught the why and what happens. And so, again, I went over as billing, but then they taught me inventory. Taught me how to do commission vouchers.
Wow.
And then we moved out of state, and I did basically everything in the office. It was a very small dealership. Moved back to Denver in 1997.
Wow.
And I went to Saturn of Denver at the time, and I did payables there, and then they needed somebody in receivables. And then they wanted me over in billing. And so I kind of did all the desks.
Yeah, you learned everything.
Yeah. And then from there, it was, well, I had my daughter, and I decided I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
It was, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I answered another ad in the paper.
Uh-huh.
My husband came home. I'd already interviewed and accepted. And I go, I'm going back to work. And he goes, oh, I'm so glad. So from there, I was at that store for 19 years.
Okay.
And that's where I grew into the management side.
Right.
But I love taking somebody brand new with no experience
Okay.
and building. And I
Right.
tell everybody, not every spot in the office is going to be for you.
Right.
There might be some great spots. There might be
Right.
not so great spots.
Right.
You know, if you're not accounting minded, let's look at titles.
Right.
But if you're going to look at titles, you have to be detailed oriented.
Yes.
You need to be able to be very detailed. Maybe titles is not your thing because you don't like that detail.
Right.
But payables,
Okay.
because you've got the schedule
Yeah.
set up. Maybe
Yeah.
that's going to be your thing. So I love.
All right.
So if somebody wants to come into the office, my suggestion is come talk to me.
Yeah,
Come talk
for
to Danielle.
Sure. Okay.
Let us tell you what's out there. And I'm also very honest. I'm not going
Right.
to,
You are.
I don't like the whole, oh, it's grand, you're going to love it. Instead, I go, guess what? You're never going to be able to take the first off. You are never going to be
No,
able to,
exactly.
because there's some things that we just have to
Yeah.
work around.
Exactly.
28 days out of the month, you're fine. But these 2 days, you have to be here.
You have to be here, exactly.
So-
Exactly. Well, Laura, one of the things that I appreciate the most about you is I'm not an accounting major and I'm not in the office, as you know.
Right.
But what I love about you is you always want to explain the why behind something. So if I ask you something, you'll say, well, this is why we do that. And you never come across condescending or arrogant or, well, you should know that. And that can be a common theme, not always, but it can be a common theme in the automotive
Yes.
offices, where it's, you know, the white tower, they know it all kind of attitude, which is so disruptive and destructive, I think, to a company.
Yes.
And one of the things that I admire the most about you is you have eliminated that, from what I can tell.
Thank
At least
you.
with me, you have, and I really
Yes.
appreciate that. And
I think it
wanted
was
you
a
to know
big
that.
deal for me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that because for me it was very important as I was growing my career and as I was learning. I got a lot of that because that's the way we do
Oh,
it.
it's too complicated. I can't
You-
explain it.
I literally had somebody once tell me, I can tell you're confused. We'll just move on. And I went, and the second time they said that to me, I said, then make me not be confused.
Exactly. Show me.
Tell me.
Yeah.
Show me. And I feel like sometimes I overdo it. And I always tell people, please don't take this as I'm acting like you don't understand and I have to over-explain. I want it to resonate because I want you to understand because I hated for so many years doing the steps and not truly understanding why I was doing them. I hated reserve statements for years. I didn't understand them. And somebody kept saying, why do you hate them? They are very simple once you know and
Right.
understand. But
Right.
nobody explained to me what it is
Right.
or why.
Right.
And so I was just like, I hate this. And then somebody finally sat down and went, oh, okay, got it.
Isn't that nice, though?
Yeah.
So,
So I hate the answer because, or that's the way we've always done it.
I know.
I tell everybody in the office, by the time you get comfortable, I'm going to change it up
Yep.
again because
I
I think
love
we
it.
should always be changing
Yep.
and learning and growing.
I love
So-
it. I love it. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that
oh,
about you.
thank you.
So, and now let me ask you a couple. I know more about you than probably other people. So, if you want to tell a little bit personally, like what you do for hobbies, what fun things do you like to share and do, and
So I have my 2 kids. My son is married, and him and his wife have our grandchildren, the 4-year-old and the 2-year-old. So we spend a lot of time with our grandkids. We love taking them places. We love
Aw.
having them over. My husband and I also have our daughter, who's 25, and she just about a year and a half ago, she moved to California, which was hard for me, but
Yeah.
she loves it. She's done really well out there, and for hobbies, Dennis and I took up RVing a while back. I didn't think it would be something I would ever like, or Lee gives me such a hard time. He goes, it's not camping.
it's not camping.
And I
would
said,
agree.
just because I have a bed and my kitchen.
The bathroom.
Yes. But we bought a Class C in 2021, September of 2021. And we haven't gone out of state with it yet.
Okay.
But we do spend a lot of weekends just
Right.
finding places. And
love it.
we have 2 sets of friends that we've been friends with since we were 19, 20 years old, that they come along with us, and
That's
they have
great.
theirs, and we just travel
Now, did
and
they
have
have
fun.
their RV first, or did you guys?
They did. They did a
after?
lot of camping.
Okay.
So they have, both of them have travel trailers.
Okay.
And one day I was talking about moving more towards the Lakewood area because
Yeah.
we are so far east.
Right.
And my husband comes home and he goes, let's talk about this. And I said, okay. And he goes, how about instead of selling the house and buying somewhere closer out there, we just go ahead and live our dream and buy an RV? And I was like, yes. And I get all wrapped up in it. We sign the paperwork. And I turn to him and I go, I never wanted to go camping. He goes, oh, I thought you did. So he'd gotten me all excited about it and got me wrapped up in it. But now I do love it.
It is a lot of fun. It sounds like, hearing your trips, it sounds like a lot of fun. Now, do you have a favorite place that you'd want to go back to, or do you always try someplace new?
We always try something different, but I was terrified to try Dillon this summer. I'd never been up there.
Okay.
I know it's beautiful, but they don't have services, which means you have to use your generator. You don't you're not hooked up to water, so you have to make sure all of your tanks are filled.
A lot more work.
Yeah, and I was just terrified of like, how is this going to go? Dennis, I told my husband Dennis, I go, am I going to be able to plug in my hairdryer? He's like, yes, and your curling iron. We're still on a generator.
Okay, all right.
So it all
worked out?
It was so beautiful, and it was so calming. And I always try to find something that's out and away from people.
Right.
I want to do something just calming and just hanging out. So,
and just relaxing.
But we've tried different places every time. I mean, we loved Estes Park.
Ooh.
And this year we went back for the second time, and it was so overridden with people, and so it wasn't as much fun. And
That's
it was
bad.
you were really on top of each other. And I said, okay, maybe we should try somewhere different than Estes next year. So
Now, how do you and your friends plan your trip? Is there one person that plans it? Do you take turns planning it?
We are like we've got it down pat now. So with it being 3 different couples, so a lot of times night 1, I'm in charge of dinner.
Okay.
So I'll make dinner for all of us.
Right.
And they'll bring maybe a side or something. And then night 2, somebody else will make dinner.
Nice.
Maybe that if we're only going for the weekend, the other set of people will do all breakfast. And then on the last time that we're there, we all chip in. We bring in leftovers, say, hey, we still have this. But we have it down pat as to who does what and when.
That's awesome, though. Now, have you taken your grandkids with you?
We have.
All right.
And they have really enjoyed it.
Oh.
Both of them have. So
I bet. They're so cute.
They are so much fun.
And your youngest had a birthday.
Yes, she just turned 2.
Oh.
She was kind of our miracle baby because I just started here.
She
and
was a miracle baby.
She was due January 15th, and then my son called me November 5th and said, Mom, get here. They're getting ready. And I went.
I know.
And so, of course,
2
we were
months,
doing,
was it 30, 2 months
It was
early.
a little over 2 months. She was 2 pounds, 1 ounce.
Oh, my gosh.
And she's a little rock star. She's so funny.
She's so cute.
She's got the greatest facial expressions. She is starting the terrible 2s.
Yeah.
So my name
attitude.
is, she goes, Gilo, no. I go, okay, because that's my grandma name is Gilo.
Yeah, Gilo. How'd they come up with Gilo?
My son had asked me when he and his wife were getting ready to have Cooper, what did I want my grandma name to be? And I said, just grandma.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
And he goes, you're not grandma. He goes, you're something more than that. And I go, Grandma Lowe.
That's
because a lot of Lauras go by Lowe. And he goes, Gilo. And
it just stuck.
And I thought it was going to be Bob, because in the beginning, Cooper would go, Bob. And I was sitting there with him, and I go, Gilo. And he goes,
Gilo.
Bob. And I was like, uh-oh, I might be Bob. But no,
that's cute.
Gilo, they both got on too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much, Laura. I really appreciate taking time from your day to interview with me and tell us a little bit more about you for the Planet family.
Thank you.
So thank
I've
you.
enjoyed it.
Well, thank you so much.